Hello, everyone. Sorry for adjusting at the moment. This is a shirt I had when I was fat, so it doesn't really fit on me. But whatever. Today we're talking about Han Solo and the Lost Legacy. I believe that's what it's called. So, out of the entire Brian Dailey trilogy, this might be heresy, but I had the most fun with this one. Not that the other ones weren't fun, but I had more fun with this. But I guess it was required reading to read the other ones to fully enjoy this. Because, spoiler alert, Galadriel comes back from Han Solo's revenge. And I loved everything about him. And I loved him being like Han Solo's like equal, but like evil, and also better. Then he comes back, and it's he doesn't really do too much though till like near the end of the book, but it's still good to see him because he was one of my favorite parts about the last book. And of course we get Bullocks and Max again. They of course have to go off in this book because they don't die, but they can't be in the original trilogy, so they gotta go somehow. Most of the book was about as much fun as the other two. Like, they were great, just like the other two. It wasn't up until we got to the water section with the fish-like things, the aliens. Everything after that was just, I think, banger after banger after banger. Like, it just kept on hitting and just hit hard. There's this like enemy faction, and there's this like big alien dude who's like a match for Chewbacca, which we didn't have in the first two books really. Like, Chewbacca was always like the strongest. He'd either get taken or just be put out of the equation, but now he has sort of an equal for himself too, so that was fun. The mystery behind these like people that did rituals and stuff, which you'll find out about if you read it, was interesting. Like, when you first get there, it wasn't as interesting after they explained a bit more, but it was still cool. What it really took from this though is when there's a part where they're kind of like trapped somewhere, and this girl, because oh my gosh, I didn't even tell you like the beginning of because at the beginning of the book, they like Han Solo meets up with someone that helped him during one of the first Cussle runs that he did, which I think might actually be a character from A.C. Crispin, which would make sense because she wrote that after and knowing about Brian Dailey's trilogy. So he might have been in the Hutt's Gambit. I don't remember. But there's this girl with him. And it's been, like half a book, so they kiss and stuff. And then she's like, stop this, because Han Solo doesn't really have anybody. He doesn't stick with anyone. He's got him and Chewbacca. And she's like, but where's the people? Like, you surround yourself with Chewie, and he's your best friend, and that's great, but where are your people? And I think that's, kind of really important, because he finds his family with Han and Leia. Leia and a wife, and Han, and then Luke as not as close as him and Chewbacca, but still best friends, and not only best friends, but a brother-in-law by marrying Leia. And so I think it's not expressly stating anything in this book, but it just really feels like Han keeps trying to lie to himself, keeps trying to tell himself that I'm just doing this for the money, and I think he knows deep in his heart that's not true. And it just takes Luke and Leia and the Rebel Alliance and everything that goes on in the movies to finally get him to find a family and to be heroic like he wants to be. But overall, the book was fun. It was fantastic. It had a nice little Indiana Jones vibe because they're searching for treasure. But yeah, I enjoyed this one the most. I can't tell you exactly why. I already knew all these characters. I knew Han since the first book, but all the new characters they introduced, Bollocks and stuff, and I loved it. I loved every single minute of it. There's also a car chase that happens earlier on. That was a lot of fun. I won't tell too much about that, but that was a good scene. But overall, it was a good story. Good ending to the trilogy. Now we have the final A.C. Crispin novel, Rebel Dawn, and then we'll be finally moving on post episode 4 stories. So that'll be interesting. Of course, I'll also be rewatching the original trilogy during that time, but I won't be doing reviews for them. But it should be interesting watching it through a new pair of eyes, with reading EU books, then watching the movies, and seeing how that affects how I feel about it. And then also, I haven't watched the original trilogy in a while, so it's going to be really fun to go through it again. But yeah, overall, good read. Highly recommend it. Again, you can get the entire trilogy for like $7 if you get a digital one, ebook on Amazon. On it, So I suggest, if you are a big fan of Han, then I suggest you get that book. Other than that, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna keep this one a bit shorter than the other one, because the other one was like 15 minutes or whatever. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. But definitely, so far, I haven't even gotten to the mere surface, the mere volume of Legends material. I'm really curious to see my opinion on all the stuff that I read for the first time that takes place after Return of the Jedi, because that's going to be the big stuff. That's going to be the big kahunas, because we have a sequel trilogy, and I was very disappointed by it, and I'm excited to see how I feel about the stories that continue after Episode 6 in this better universe. And I will say that, because the EU so far has been superior, and I have a feeling it will still be when we get post Return of the Jedi. So I hope you'll be along with me in that journey, and I'll see you next time. Bye.